Well, I hate to say it, but I told you so. I don't know. No, I'll stop. I'll stop. Okay, I'm just saying. We swept the board yesterday, not just with the NBA, with MLB as well. Go check out our MLB best bets. But yeah, Pacers money line straight up, Warriors money line. I very confidently called Pacers game one. I still am adamant on the fact that the Pacers are winning the series in 6 games. Dare I say maybe 5? No, I'm not going to get confident. I think they still win it in 6. I still think that series goes exactly how I think it goes. I just think instead of my prediction yesterday of a blowout in game 2, I think we see a very competitive game 2 that Cleveland wins. We'll get to that tomorrow. Warriors, I saw that coming from a mile away. That was the most Houston Rockets thing to ever happen. They win game 5 at home. They go to San Francisco and win game 6. And Steph Curry buries them with a 3 late in the game. I get it. It was already like a 13-point lead at that point. But it was just the cherry on top. And I know Curry was pretty crap in that game until the Warriors went up big. But it's everything we expected in both games. I'm going to be honest with you. Pacers, Cavs tomorrow, game 2. I'm very excited for that. Warriors, Timberwolves. I think I know how that series goes. But now we get 2 games today. Knicks, Celtics, Nuggets versus Thunder. We're going to get through both of these, and I'll give my overall opinion on these series. And obviously, every single day, we're going to break down game by game. But today, like we do with that Pacers-Cavs game yesterday, it gives us a better chance to really just look at the entire series before, again, game 2, like tomorrow with the Cavs and Pacers. We're really going to look at that game 1 and see how we can, of course, bet and look at game 2 and for the rest of the series. So today's a good day, to look through the entire thing. And folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions and best bets here on the channel. Talked about it earlier, we were perfect in the MLB yesterday. Make sure to check out today's video, linked in the description down below. And there's 3 videos this week on Greedo Plays MMA. Yesterday, UFC 315 predictions, Muhammad versus Della Maddalena from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Today, our PFL MENA predictions, and tomorrow, our PFL Europe predictions from Belfast, Ireland. Make sure to go check out all of those over on Greedo Plays MMA, and subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA as well. We are reaching closer to 1,000 subscribers over there. Okay. On to the first of 2 games today. Knicks Celtics game 1 from the Boston Garden. I don't think this is competitive. I think the Celtics are much better than the New York Knicks. This might be a hot take. I think the Celtics might sweep the Knicks. I don't know. I think maybe New York gets 1. I've gone back and forth between New York, Boston in 5 or Boston in 4. I just think they're so much better than the New York Knicks. The Knicks won that series against Detroit, right? They go 6 games. They win that game 6. Like we expected them to win that game 6, by the way. We saw Detroit. Late in these series, I've been going crazy, by the way. I had Detroit in game 5 at the Garden. We had the Knicks in Detroit in game 6. And now here we go, Knicks Celtics. Watching that Knicks-Pistons series, it was fun. It was very entertaining. What I get from that series, though, is that the Knicks are not ready for prime time. They're not ready for the Celtics. They're just not. And it's not like Boston looked over the top impressive in that Orlando series. In all fairness, it was just because they were playing Orlando, and it's really hard to look really impressive against the Magic. Just because, A, they are a really good defensive team, and regardless of what you do against the Magic, at the end of the day, you're playing the Orlando Magic. I'm just going to be honest with you. And Boston was a minus 1,500 favorite to win that series. I could be exaggerating a little bit there, but maybe I'm not. That team's great. I don't know what else to say. They're still the favorites to come out the East. I think, again, a potential Celtics-Pacers Eastern Conference Finals will be really interesting, because that was the closest sweep I've ever seen out of a series last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. I always look at Boston Celtics Twitter, and they're the only fan base that actually respects the Pacers and really value how good Indiana is and the threat that Indiana gave them last year. But again, we'll get to that series when we get there. I still feel very confident it's going to be Boston and Indiana in the next round. Boston Knicks, again, I just don't know how the Knicks beat this team. I don't think they can match Boston shot for shot. I definitely don't think they can. And I just feel like the Knicks are going to find themselves trailing a lot in this series. Because they were able to keep up with Detroit and beat Detroit because the Pistons had so many struggles shooting the three-point ball. The problem is the Boston Celtics won't have any trouble shooting the three-point ball. And there will be games where they won't shoot it that much. It's because they are getting everything they want down low. I'm not saying that's going to be the case against the Knicks. It might be. But Joe Mazzulla knows what he's doing. He knows that the three ball's there and they're hitting it consistently. They're going to continue to go to that. But if there are opportunities that are going to present itself with Jalen Brunson or Jason Tatum working inside, help Porzingis as well, even though most of Porzingis' shots, I feel like, comes from the three-point line at this point, they're going to drive in and they're going to take those shots, and they're not going to force anything from beyond the arc. And the Celtics only shooting 24 three-pointers in Game 5 against the Magic feels like a low number, obviously, for them, because it is. The Celtics shoot more three-pointers than any team in the NBA this season. But here's my thing. When they do take a bunch of three-pointers, unlike what they did in some games against Orlando, how the hell are the Knicks going to keep up? And that's why I'm giving the Knicks one game in the series. Because I do think there's going to be one game in the series where they're, the Celtics just aren't on their game, and the Knicks will find ways to outscore them. And I'll be honest, guys, I think Boston against beating the Knicks. But when you get into the next round, Cleveland and Indiana present very difficult challenges for them because those teams can match Boston shot for shot, especially Indiana. I've been saying it for a while. Not telling you the Pacers are going to the NBA Finals. I'm just saying I think they're going to give Boston a really tough challenge, and they could upset them. Again, a Pacers Thunder NBA Finals would be the first NBA TV Finals. I'd love watching it, by the way. I'd watch every second of that series. But from a national perspective, yeah, I mean, no casual fan sitting down and watching Thunder Pacers. I'm just going to be honest. Shea is the MVP, he's the new face of the league. But anyways, we'll get to the Thunder in a second. Yeah, I'm taking Boston, though, in this game. One, again, you look at how the Knicks have been shooting all playoffs long. Okay, and they are so dependent on Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, Brunson played a phenomenal Game 6. That three-pointer he hit to ice the game in the fourth quarter was insane, right? He breaks, I believe it was Asar, right? He breaks Asar, or was it Tim Hardaway? I think it was Asar. He breaks Asar, hits the three-pointer, basically walks off the game. Detroit doesn't even get a shot off on the other side. Jalen Brunson's a clutch basketball player. We know that. He scored 40 points in game number 6. The three-point ball is still not hitting for anybody on this Knicks team. It's not a consistent shot for them right now. And it has to be consistent against the Boston Celtics. Because Boston, again, they will force you to shoot that thing, and they'll force you to keep up with them. I just don't think New York has what it takes, I'm going to be honest. I think, again, for as good as Brunson's been, his three-point ball has been very inconsistent at times in the series, specifically in the first half. It's been inconsistent when the game goes on, and again, that's just how great Brunson is and how clutch Brunson is. You can rely on him to take those three-point shots and make those three-point shots in the second half. In the first half, and ultimately, guys, the first half is going to matter so much in this series because it's going to get to a point where the Knicks are going to be trailing because they can't hit their threes, and ultimately, they're just not going to be able to fight back in the third and the fourth because Boston has already built up such a lead early in the basketball game. So it's, can Jalen Brunson hit his threes? Can OG Anunoby do the same? Can Mikal Bridges? Can Cat? I just don't think they're going to be able to do it at the rate that Boston's going to be able to. The Celtics team is too loaded, man. They are. Tatum, Porzingis, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. They're the perfect mix of, inside game, shooting obviously on the outside, and, a great defender in Drew Holiday as well. You can plug immediately on the best scorer of your opposition. And obviously, that's going to be Drew Holiday's assignment in this series will 100% be Jalen Brunson. Now, there's a question, how healthy will Drew Holiday be? Didn't play at the end of that series against the Orlando Magic, but the Celtics have had more than enough time to recover since that Orlando series. He's not even on the injury report anymore. Their last game was 6 days ago. I think Drew Holiday's fine. I think he is. So, if you put Drew Holiday on Jalen Brunson, it's not going to completely take away, obviously, the clutch player of the year, but at the same time, it is going to make it much more difficult for him to score. So then you automatically put a lot more faith into a guy like Mikal Bridges, who has been more than shaky, with an OG Anunoby, with the Karl-Anthony Towns when he's at his best. Obviously, he's phenomenal. Hell, look at game number 4 that Cat played, hitting a huge 3 to ultimately push the Knicks across, but I just don't trust that. And also, another thing I have to say is that, guys, the Knicks were always right there with Detroit. Yes, they won the series because they won in clutch moments, because they won in the fourth quarter in every game that we watched in that series. But if just a couple things don't go their way, Detroit's here instead. And that's no slight on the Pistons. My thing with that is, though, If you're having that much trouble with Detroit and you're keeping the Pistons in every single game you play, what the hell is going to happen when you play the best team right now in the Eastern Conference and arguably the second best team in all of basketball, the Celtics? For as much as people want to clown Jason Tatum, I've been saying this all year, for as much as you want to clown Jason Tatum, this guy's elite. Look what he's done in the last 3 games of that Orlando series. 36-9, 37-14, 35-8-10 to close out Orlando in the first round. And yes, it's the Magic. The Celtics were more than expected to get rid of that basketball team. But at the same time, you've got to put some respect on Jason Tatum's name. There's a reason he's a top 10 player in the sport, because he can do things like that. And on top of that, you have to deal with Jaylen Brown. You got to deal with Derek White. Their centers, Kristaps Porzingis, they're so difficult. There's teams that can beat them, OKC, potentially Indiana, even Cleveland 100% as well. I'll argue, guys, and I don't think that's really that much of a debate, the Knicks are the worst team left in the Eastern Conference. They just are. They lose to all 3 of these teams right now in the East. In the West, they'd lose to 3 of them, I think. Yeah. And we're going to get to the one team I don't think they'd beat in a second, or I think they would beat. But in this spot, yes, I'm taking Celtics minus 9.5. Celtics on the money line, 2 minus 380. I don't love the bet, but if you want to bet something, yeah, bet Celtics money line, I guess. Celtics spread. Not my favorite play, though, I'm not going to lie. I'd rather see a game first in the series, but I think this is how that's going to go in game 1. The one team the Knicks could beat in a 7-game series is the Denver Nuggets, guys. I'm so serious when this is a very uncompetitive series. I'm going to argue that maybe, 3 out of 4 games in the series are going to be blowouts. The prediction for this series is Thunder in 4. Yeah. This will not be close. I'm serious. This will not be close. And I have a couple reasons for that. The first of which is just the Thunder outmatch Denver in every single way. And in all fairness, OKC outmatches pretty much every single team in the league just because of what they have. They have the best player in the league on their team. And sure, again, you get the 2 top players in the league playing, Shea versus Nikola Jokic. That's fair. I'm the biggest Shea guy in the world. I will admit Shea's supporting cast is 10 times better than Nikola Jokic's. But at the same time, and I've said this before, the difference between Jokic and Shea is that Jokic brings his team from being a play-in team to a playoff team. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander takes his team from being a really good basketball team to one of the greatest basketball teams of all time. It's what it is. So if you are looking up the series and saying, the winner of this series is the true MVP, well, that's ridiculous because it's a regular season award and SGA is already the MVP. But at the same time, it's a team sport. And I don't think we can completely put everything on Jokic here, because Jokic is going to need more than a Herculean-type effort to win the series for his basketball team. Simply put, it will not happen. I don't think the Nuggets beat the Thunder once, let alone 4 times. I will argue the Denver Nuggets are the worst team left in the playoffs. Yes, even worse than the Golden State Warriors. I think they might be the 8th team left. Just gonna be honest. And sure, they get matched up against the best team left in the playoffs and the odds-on by far favorites to win the entire thing. So for one, I think OKC outmatches them in terms of talent. This year, they did go 2-2 in the regular season. It's playoff basketball. The regular season doesn't matter anymore if 2 of those games were played in 2024. I don't put much into that, I'm going to be honest. And the 3rd and 4th time these 2 teams met up, it was on back-to-back days in OKC. Just really weird circumstance. The Thunder blew out the Nuggets the first time. The second time, Denver won it by 13. They had some not Mickey Mouse, but they just had a magnet ball in the 4th quarter and they couldn't miss a 3-pointer. Don't care. OKC is so much better than Denver, guys. The Thunder have been off for over a week. And normally I'd say, maybe that hurts a team. It's not. Because it's not. If Denver had a rest as well, and Denver had, say, a 4-day break, and OKC was off for 8, I'd say, maybe that is going to really affect the Thunder. See, it's not going to when Denver literally just played 2 days ago. Yeah, the fatigue's going to really settle in tonight. It's just going to. And sure, Denver blew out the Clippers in Game 7 in Denver. That's fair. But they still put everything they had in winning that Game 7. Your season's on the line. I mean, there are no restrictions. Everything it's full go mode in a game number 7, obviously. The Thunder will destroy this team. And I think they're going to destroy them 4 straight times. I just think so. Guys, I look at what OKC's got, and they're on another level. You can tell. And personally, guys, people want to hate on SGA. I don't know if there's another player right now in the NBA that's more fun to watch than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You want to talk about an ethical hooper, and I know that's kind of just a joke term at this point. It's a TikTok hoops term. I get that. But there's no better, example of a pure ethical hooper than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Watching that guy hit mid-range shots with his size-ups, with his dribble combos, I mean, there's not a more fun player to watch in the league, in my opinion. SGA is just that, again, he's that smooth, he's so fun to watch. I mean, you look at what he did in Game 4 against the Grizzlies. He, walks them off, basically, hits that mid-range jumper to send the Grizzlies out. He finally has a really good game in the playoffs. 13 for 24 from the field, 38 points. That's an SGA type night, 11 free throws. Again, that's just what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will do to you. But at the same time, look at who's around him. Lou Dort's there to sit in the corner and play defense. Pure example of a 3-and-D. They've got 2 bigs who are really good, Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. And then, he's got another all-star on the court in J-Dub, Jalen Williams. And then, off the bench, you get Aaron Wiggins, who, if you need him to, can erupt for 30-plus points. Cason Wallace, when he's on, my goodness, that three ball is consistent. Isaiah Joe can play great minutes. And Alex Caruso is a more than willing defender as well off the bench. Jalen Williams, by the way, Arkansas Jalen Williams, if you need him, he can drop a triple-double too. He had, I think, the second most triple-doubles all year long for a big, and the guy started, 3 games this season. I just don't know what Denver does. I'm just going to be honest. The Thunder are going to play suffocating defense. That home crowd is really going to give Denver fits, I think, and I just don't know what the Nuggets do. I just don't know what they do. Because there's nowhere to breathe against this Thunder team. Because, again, the suffocating defense, there's only so much Jokic can do. He can average a 30-point triple-double in this series. Jamal Murray's not going to have nowhere near the success against OKC than he did the Clippers. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, hell, even a Russell Westbrook, a Christian Braun. I don't think they see any success. I think every shot that the Nuggets try to get off in the series will be a challenge. It's going to be difficult to find clean looks against this OKC team who plays the best defense in all of basketball. And it's not like they're like in Orlando or like a Houston where, they play great defense, but they can't score. No, OKC is also one of the best scoring teams in the league as well. That's what makes them so dangerous. And by the way, they have the most valuable player on their team. There's a reason they were 68-14 in the regular season. I've been saying this for a while. They're the clear favorites to win the entire thing. And obviously, since the Lakers are gone, I can fully commit to that now. I firmly believe the Thunder are winning the NBA championship. And I'm here now to make a very bold prediction, but I think it's a fair one to make. I think the Thunder are going 16-0 in the playoffs. I think they're that good. Say what you want about that game 4, or the game 3 against the Grizzlies, where they were down big and they came back from down 30 points. You still came back from down 30 points in the playoffs. And I get Ja got injured, but it takes a team to, settle in and focus and lock in after being down by that many points and find a way back in the game. And not just to get your way back in the game, but win it. That shows a lot, and I just don't think the Thunder are ever going to find themselves in the playoffs down by that much or remotely that much ever again. I think they're going to be playing from ahead the rest of the playoffs. And look at the matchups they're going to get. Denver, guys, this is just going to be a problem for the Nuggets. They're not going to find ways to score, and I just think OKC will dominate them on the other end as well. The Nuggets don't play defense, and there's everyone on the Thunder's team, everyone on OKC can score, especially SGA. That's a problem, and J-Dub can score too. And the bigs are very efficient as well. Hartenstein loves that little tap floater. Chet's great as well. He can hit shots too. Lou Dort, if he gets that 3 ball in the corner down, it's dangerous. Really dangerous. So I look at this matchup and I say, okay, OKC sweeps. I'm serious. I look at the next matchup against Minnesota. Well, I think the Thunder are just a much better version of the Timberwolves. I think that looks entirely like what the Western Conference Finals did last year. Instead of Luka owning Minnesota, it's just Shea. And the Thunder just kind of outmatch Minnesota everywhere. And then I look at the finals, I look at either a Pacers team or a Celtics team. I like both of those squads. I think they're great. I just think OKC, what they're able to do defensively against those teams, the Thunder are able to keep up scoring with those squads, and they're going to win in big moments defensively as well against Indiana and Boston, or hell, even a Cleveland too. I just don't see them losing. I think by far, again, their best chance of losing the game is going to come in the finals, definitely. But the way I see it, I truly don't think they lose again. I think they're that good, and I think the Thunder and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander are going to establish themselves as one of the best teams of all time. That's what they're already doing, and this is just another step in the right direction. The Thunder, again, are looking down the barrel of only 12 more wins until they are the NBA champions, and they finally bring a championship back to OKC. SGA gets established as the best Thunder player of all time. He goes down in the record books as an all-time great on an all-time team. They're 12 wins away, and here we go. After tonight, it's going to be 11. I don't think this game is competitive. I think the Nuggets are going to be on tired legs after that game 7. I think the Thunder are going to put complete belt to ass here in game number 1. I'm going Thunder minus 9.5, minus 450. I like this a lot more than I do the Celtics game. This is my favorite bet of the day in the NBA. Thunder minus 9.5. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions and best bets here for May 5th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and make sure to comment if you did disagree with any of the picks. Thank y'all for watching, folks, and Mamba forever.